welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Pauper, and while Pauper Tuesday, February has passed, I have another Pauper deck I want to try in preparation for MagicCon Chicago, which at the time of this release will be several weeks ago, but at the time of the recording, I'm several weeks before the event. I thought I was just going to land on Dimir Terror, but then this deck emerged. This is by Magic Online user Barff, B-A-R-F-F, who is the Pauper Trophy leader by a lot. And this past weekend, which is a month ago for you, but this past weekend for me, Barff went 9-0, 18-0, did not drop a game to win the Pauper Challenge with this build of Dimir Snacker. And that is a very exciting record. Barff has a Patreon that I joined. He's got some videos in there, some articles, some sideboard guides, all of which is great for someone like me who just needs a springboard to sort of reorient how I'm thinking about Pauper, a format that is deep and there's a lot going on and I have been largely disconnected from for a year or two. For starters, just watching some of Barff's videos against the Deadly Dispute, that's what I'm trying to say. Deadly Dispute decks, he fights really hard over the enablers. Like he boards in a Null just to counter Ichor Wellspring. He boards in Dispel just to fight over the Deadly Dispute itself. And he's really trying to collapse the engine, where I've been trying to let them spin their wheels, drawing cards, and then spend all of my resources fighting off the payoff. And Barff has done the exact opposite. And that really helped me reframe what's important, where maybe I would have figured that out if I played 1,000 games, but guess what? Barff already did it for me. And that's the magic of consuming content from an expert. Obviously, I'm somewhat tooting my own horn by praising Barff because I'm in the same business, but seriously, a resource like that is so sick, and I love being able to give Patreon dollars to people who are going to help me get better at Magic. Anyway, the deck itself, it has Sneaky Snacker, which is one of the more exciting cards. It has Snuff Out, which is one of the more exciting Pauper cards in general. It has Counterspell, Spellstutter Sprite, and Brainstorm, three of my favorite cards to cast in the Pauper format. This whole arc of exploring all the blue decks in Pauper, I'm literally just trying to figure out how I could play Brainstorm and Counterspell in the way that makes the most sense. And here is Barff with his 39 trophies and multiple challenge wins with this deck, just staring me in the face. Your primary enabler for Sneaky Snacker is the Modern Age. Chapters 1 and 2 are draw a card and discard a card, and then Chapter 3 is a 2/3 flyer. Just slow value over the course of a game. And if you're discarding stuff like Sneaky Snacker or Deep Analysis, it's kind of like you're just drawing a card, maybe even better. There's no ninjas in the main deck, but Spellstutter Sprite can ninjutsu off of Mukatai Ambusher or Okiba Game Shinobi out of the sideboard. We got some ninja stuff going on here. Sneaky Snacker is, of course, a fairy for Spellstutter Sprite. We don't need to curve fairy miscreants and stuff out here. This is going to counter 1 a lot of the time, 2 quite a bit of the time, and then in the super endgame, you could start getting 3s out of it. Main deck Murmuring Mystic, I'm excited about that. That's something I identified really breaks a lot of matchups, and a lot of blue decks seem to just have them in the sideboard. Having one in the main is nice. A small commitment to the Monarch I like. I really didn't like having to rely on the Monarch as my only engine in Is It Terror when I played that deck, because I felt really anemic without the Monarch, but it also felt like the deck wasn't stable enough to ever introduce the Monarch versus the aggressive format that we're in right now. Like the red deck has so many haste creatures in it. But Modern Age is an engine, Snacker's an engine, Deep Analysis, Murmuring Mystic, these are all engines, and then you can introduce the Monarch when you're ready. Really excited to have a deck that checks all the boxes I want to check in the Pauper world just emerge for me so close to MagicCon Chicago, and while I was not super in love with anything else going on, And it comes with the deep resource well of Barff's Patreon. Love it. I'm going to try this deck. I will be working off of Barff's sideboard guide and matchup guide for the most part. I'll see if there's anything that comes up that I think I could do better, but I mean, clearly he knows the Pauper format extremely well. And let's see if I can fall in love. Let's do it. This is Dimir Snacker. I'm on the play in round 1. I'm going to keep my hand. I'm a little bummed there's no card selection here, but I do have both my colors. I do have a removal spell, a counter spell, and 2 threats. I'm not going to mull this hand, but I would prefer if it had the Modern Age in it, of course. I'm going to play my Seething Landscape and grab the swamp. There is 1 basic swamp in this deck. A mountain. Okay. Well, we know what the job is now. By the way, I went to buy the landscapes IRL because I didn't have a ton of cards from Modern Horizons 3. I just didn't draft or open the set. And also I play with foils IRL in Pauper. And I was shocked to learn that there are 10 of these. I thought they would do like the Alara wedges, but no, they did the whole 10 wedge and whatever the opposite of wedge. Shard, wedge and shard spread. They really just did it all in one set. But I guess it would be hard to revisit that. I will trade Snacker. There's a million ways in the deck to get that back. And just using that as a tiny little counterspell, I'll take it. Okay. Do I want Dispel and Spellstutter up for the turn, or Agony Warp and Dispel, or do I want Murmuring Mystic? I don't think I'm going to tap out for Murmuring Mystic next turn, even if I have 4 mana. I'll just leave up maximum interaction, take the safest line. We are playing against actual burn. This is not Kuldotha Red. We see Fire Blast, we see Rift Bolt. Spellstutter busted against burn, by the way. Okay, cool. Snacker can come back. I'm just going to brainstorm now. Bojuka Bog doesn't really matter here. It is another tap land. I could Lorien to have 2 mana untapped and shuffle away these stinkers. Yeah, Bojuka Bog, I think, is just worse than Contaminated Aquifer. I'm going to put away Bog and put away Aquifer, and then I'll just cycle Lorien for a basic island. This ends up with the same amount of mana, but I've worked through my brainstorm now. This Rift Bolt's going to put me to 13, and they have 4 cards in hand. They've missed their last 2 land drops, which means at least 3 of those 4 cards in their hand are spells. And if we use the old Philosophy of Fire, which is a article written in the early 1800s by Adrian Sullivan, when you play against burn, you should imagine that every card in their hand is worth 3 damage. Okay, Shard Volley and Skewer. Shard Volley is risky because they've been missing land drops and they're against a Spellstutter Sprite deck. And Skewer doesn't work unless they do something else first. Pretty good spot. I'm going to be disrespectful to Haste creatures and just attack here. And leave up Dispel, Spell Pierce, Agony Warp. Okay, Lava Spike, Spell Pierce that. That turns off the Skewer. And they are going for the Shard Volley. I mean, I'm not going to turn down a 1 mana Stone Rain. All right, the Skewer burned off. Modern Age, Busto. Okay, let's do the math here. They clearly don't have a land. I think I'm safe to Murmuring Mystic here. And then everything... Like, I do have to kill them before they draw enough cards to win. Like, Fire Blast is off if they don't have 2 mountains. If they're casting 1 spell a turn, like, I could just take 3, it's fine. And then untap. If my life total was lower, I'd have to think about that differently. But, you know, if things were different, they wouldn't be the same. We got the I'm in danger in the chat. Yeah, I think I have turned the corner here. This Spellstutter Sprite is insane. On turn 7, it's good to counter a 3-drop. My opponent's stuck on 1 mana. Fire Blast doesn't kill me. And I think I am going to play this Modern Age. I don't need 2 Brainstorms anymore. I probably wouldn't play Modern Age if they had more mana, but the fact that they're bottlenecked on 1 and I can counter up to a 3-drop. Okay. Okay, so actual burn is interesting because this is different than Kuldotha in that cards like Arms of Hadar and Suffocating Fumes are less important, but they are a big part of the sideboard plan for the top red deck in the format. Kuldotha Red, you also want your Annuls against, which I don't think I want here. I want Dispel. Obviously, the lifelink creatures and the Blue Blast all come in. Snuff Out comes out. I don't think I should be playing Suffocating Fumes. That's going to kill like a Voldaren Epicure, if anything. Yeah, that's really interesting. Figuring this out on the fly. This is not in the sideboard guide. Snacker is mid. Augur of Bolas, Spellstutter Sprite, Modern Age. This is the bread and butter here. And we've upgraded a lot of cards to be better than Counterspell now. Just boarding in 6 cards that are better than Counterspell. So we can cut the clunky, chunky Counterspell. All right, here we go. Deep Analysis, maybe a card I'm not going to cast. I could see that being boarded out if I want Arms of Fedar in. Okiba-Gang Shinobi is actually really interesting. Yeah, if they discard 2 cards, that's kind of like gaining 6 life. The old philosophy of fire. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the multiplying your opponent's cards in hand by 3, and that's how much damage they could do. Tech is like straight from the Scrolls of Herodotus. That is some old Magic theory. But it still holds up when you're playing against a basic burn deck with a basic control deck. Okay, I'm going to get my mana active here, even though Spell Pierce was a pretty dope draw. But I have Modern Age and Snacker. Ren's Resolve. Okay, they're trying to end the festivities, and they have land number 3. This is a great turn to try to get the Modern Age pump in. I'm going to need another land. I've got the Snacker ready. Let's game. There's the Mountain. They can just end the festivities to deal 1. Might as well. Use it or lose it. Voldaren Epicure. Blood Token. Skewer the Critics. I'm at 12. I get a loot here. Found a tap land. I think that's fine. How many Modern Ages am I going to play? I think I'm going to discard one of these Modern Ages. And I'm going to Aug. Just put something between me and this Voldaren Epicure. Every point this does after the point that it does on ETB is embarrassing and shameful. Bolas. Based on the number of blue blasts I've boarded in, we're basically 100% to find a blue blast on any given Augur of Bolas. That's not true. That's just me filling dead air. But here we go. Look at this. 100% to find a blue blast on every Augur of Bolas. Contaminated Aquifers in, and this is the turn where if they go like land, Fire Blast, Bolt, Bolt, I lose. Chain Lightning, can't interact. Flame Rift, I'm at 5. And now Fire Blast is a problem for the rest of time. Oh, sick. The Ambusher changes everything. Now we just turn this game around with a sideboard card. They did not expect the Ninja. No block. I think the block's terrible, but I'm glad they didn't. And this is turn 4, so I do still have a land drop. Cycle Lorien. Get the island. Okay. I am feeling relatively comfortable here. If I can connect with this Ambusher again, I'll feel better. Okay, they're just blooding away mountains. I think we're over the hump. Holding up, Hydroblast, Face Up, and Spell Pierce that they don't know about. Pretty busted. And Modern Age is a sicko. Very excited to play with that card. Okiba-Gang Shinobi, get you to Hellbent. I don't think I'm actually going to use the Okiba-Gang here, but it is available to me. The problem is if I ninjutsu that in, they can just like bolt me in response to the trigger. And then what? Tell me, and then what? Yeah, Augur of Bolas. Found Lorien Revealed. I'll do that to continue hitting land drops. Boom. I don't think this game's losable anymore. I'm going to call it. End the festivities, kills nothing. This is probably just trying to turn on a Skewer the Critics or something. Or if they have 2 and the festivities. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even going to fight over that. That just gained me 9 life. It hit twice, then sucked up a lightning bolt. Opponent gave us the GGs in chat, sent a Hail Mary Flame Rift that I probably actually should have let resolve, but I'll just rub ins with the Spell Pierce he didn't know about. Still had this one. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, MagicCon, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2. I am going to keep my hand. It has one land that enters tapped, but I have double Lorien Revealed, and I can snuff out twice off this one land. Opponent went to 6. A mountain, cool. Well, my hand's real bad against this. Why couldn't you be like Brood Scale combo? Okay, I'm actually going to now represent Spell Pierce with Basic Island instead of just committing to the tap land. Magic Theory is so cool. Basically, like, them leading on Basic Mountain cost me 2 cards in my hand and tricked me into playing the wrong land, and now I'm going to take 6 damage instead of 4 from this Goblin Tomb Raider. Why didn't Epicure attack? What are they worried about? Okay, I'll get this island, and I'll play Contaminated Aquifer. This is a disaster, but it's what I got. I feel like this was a misclick. Is there any reason to leave this back at all? Okay, suddenly attacking with the other thing. Okay, I will kill the Tomb Raider, because that one is going to deal more than 4 to me over the course of the game. I'm not convinced that's true of either of these creatures. Another Epicure. They're on the mono creature draw, as I have Spell Pierce up the entire game. Oh, sweet relief. All right. Yeah, not only do I have a counter, but it's against one of the best spells in their deck. A counter spell, not thrilling, but if they have Bushwhacker, I'm glad I got that. Okay, attacking with everything. I can kill this and nerf this. I think I'm just going to play to the cards that are on the board. If they second main Kuldotha Rebirth, it's going to be pretty annoying, but I don't have infinite life to work with here. Oh yeah, they just passed the turn. Love to see it. I'm going to brainstorm away the Snuff Out. I'm going to take this opportunity. Snuff Out's gone, and I think I just want to redraw this Lorien Revealed, because I do want to hit land drops, and I now kind of like the cards I have access to. A cycle for an island, auger, put the brakes on this shit, cut down, cast down. Cut down would be better. That's an uncommon though, I think. Okay. Clutch moment. They have a blood token. They've been sitting on a card for a minute. Kuldotha Rebirth. Is the last card in their hand Bushwhacker? Doesn't seem like it. And they are content to just push damage with their shitters. That's what the deck does. Galvanic Blast. Okay. Clearing my blocker. Ugh, this is getting dicey. So they attack with 4 things. I go to 4. I trade with one of them. And then I can play another Snacker next turn. I am not winning this race right now. I need something with more toughness than 1. Or I need a Brainstorm to reset these Snackers. Oh god, that's so dangerous. Okay, here I can play Snacker, cast down one of the goblins, then jam Thorn of the Black Rose, and hope I'm still alive. I'm dead to Lightning Bolt at this point. Can't play around it. Yeah, literally that opening play of leaving up Spell Pierce because of the matchup instead of playing Aquifer. If I had Snuff Outed the Goblin Tomb Raider before it hit me for 2, I would be at 6 right now instead of 4. And the game would otherwise have unfolded exactly the same. Except maybe I would have actually had black a turn earlier, where Agony Warp would have been on a turn earlier. Yeah, I just got tricked by myself. Maybe by myself. Maybe it's just like my opponent didn't go for a quick rebirth, and it took me a while to get paid on the Spell Pierce. Maybe they have a quick rebirth if I don't have blue mana up for Spell Pierce. If I'm on the play, I think I'm at a relatively comfortable life total. Just really cool how close this was. Okay, block. And I am going to cast down. This taps me out into Lightning Bolt, but I can't just be dying to their creatures. Then they don't even have to have Lightning Bolt. So at least make them have it. And a Galvanic Blast. That one doesn't kill me by itself. I go to 1. So they don't have Metalcraft. But now I'm dead to basically all things. The land helps a lot. Now I am stable and pulling ahead with Counterspell up. But they really have to draw nothing. Juka Bog doesn't matter. And I have to counter anything. Yeah, this is literally just a haste creature. Gotta counter it. But they didn't kill me last turn, and they would have played that last turn. And I think that card in their hand is bad, like whatever it is. Speaking of cards, I'm just going to draw 4 cards this turn. This gets my Snackers back. Did not hit the untapped land, unfortunately. Bog, target you. Gotta fade right now. If I untap with a hard counter and access to a bunch more things, I'll feel okay. A bunch of blockers. Every card in their deck is good, though. Fudge! Alright. Well, close one. Yeah, just like drawing untapped land instead of one of these three things. Does it there? I don't know. Cool. Tight one. This time, I will just follow the full sideboard strategy from Barff, which is basically the same as against Burn, except you're also bringing in your Annuls and your Wraths. And here, the exercise, you see a lot of Magic pros or good Magic players talking about buying a sideboard guide is not a good way to teach someone how to play Magic, doesn't make you better. And that's true. But what you can do is try to reverse engineer how a informed player is thinking about Magic by their sideboard guide. And what Barff is telling me with this just simple little these cards in, these cards out thing is he thinks Snuff Out is bad. Like, the creatures are not worth 4 life to kill. Sneaky Snacker is not an effective blocker, and the Modern Age engine is too slow. If Snacker is bad, or if Modern Age are bad, then the other one gets worse too, because they're part of a package. You don't want to pay 3 life to draw cards. Counterspell's too slow versus all the 1-mana things we're bringing in, and it's dangerous to initiate the Monarch on a 4-drop. I still kind of believe in Okiba Gang Shinobi, which is not in the list. Like, the list that he went on his 18-0 run with is different than the list that the sideboard guide is based on slightly. His sideboard guide list has Gurmag Angler and Unexpected Fangs in it. Okay, this hand's really soft to a turn 1 creature, and then the shields are up after that. I will try this. My opponent has to at least think about Hydroblast. Okay, the 2-1 first strike haste. I don't think I'm going to value Brainstorm. Like, it's not even valuable. I don't think I'm going to Brainstorm. Here, I'll wait until I have cards to move around. I like all the cards in my hand. Why would I change them? Okay, I could annul this. Or I could Spell Stutter it. Spell Stutter walks into, like, Bolt on the Spell Stutter. I could also Counterspell. Just use clunky mana while it's clunky. I'm going to annul. That's the one that's the hardest to line up against a specific card. Goblin Tomb Raider got me with the dubs, but at least they don't have an artifact to make it hasty. And here I think I do want to Brainstorm. That didn't go great, I'm not going to lie. I did unlock black mana, and taking 2 a turn with some counterspells up. Oh, hell no. Hell no. And this is actually scary enough that I don't even want a Spell Stutter where Galvanic Blast would uncounter their spell, leaving me with 0 fairies. Okay. Didn't do anything with their 2nd mana. Now, if they play a 1-drop, I can Spell Stutter the 1-drop, then counter the burn spell that would kill my Spell Stutter. Still got to do something about this 2 damage a turn I'm taking. But I have fended off anything that could enable Kuldotha Rebirth, saved so far 3 damage from this Tomb Raider based on countering the artifacts. Kicked Goblin Bushwhacker. That's still a 1-drop. Got him. Okay. Their creatures are still big. Who puts 2 toughness on a 1-drop? Cards are getting too good. Settle down. I'm just trying to Spell Stutter Sprite in peace. I'm going to go to my turn to try to see an extra card off this Brainstorm before I send it. Not good. Put back the 2 lands. Might as well Bajuka Bog you, I guess. And I'm not going to block, so I might as well attack. I'm looking for one of my ninjas now to turn this around and really do something. They counter the Lackey. I don't want more things happening. Chain Lightning. That's targeting me. I am just going to take that. I think that getting the board under control is more important. If I Brainstorm now, I only see 2 new cards, but I am kind of desperate. All those are good cards. Okay. I'm going to leave back Spell Stutter this time. I can double block the Tomb Raider to get it off the board. I'm going to Hydroblast the Reckless Lackey in attacks. And now I'm down to taking 1 damage. If they cast a spell, I can counter it, and then the board is stable. And they can be super patient and chip me for 1s if they want to. I'll get through the Brainstorm before I lose to that. Okay, Spell Stutter this Lightning Bolt. Now the board's under control. Lightning Bolt over the top. This puts me to 5. I think that's okay. Bushwhacker. Yeah, I will counter this. And we're in the pause mode. I do have Brainstorms and Modern Ages in my deck. I'm going to hold this island. Don't need my 7th land right now. I am in danger. Just going 1-for-1 versus a deck like this, where my life total was steadily dropping in between, is not great. I need an engine to kick in somewhere, like shoving the Monarch or something. Spell Pierce is good against someone with 2 mana. They are a deck full of creatures, though. There's one now. Now they can start attacking again. And that one has first strike. I am committed to double blocking the Tomb Raider. And can I find my Lifelink Ninja, please? Lifelink Ninja. Lifelink Ninja. Murmuring Mystic. Okay. That one's got a huge ass. If they have a spell, they should cast it now so I don't get a bird when I counter it. Okay, Red Blast. Spell Pierce that. Still in danger, but I have a big old booty in play now. I'm going to leave back Spellstutter because their deck's full of haste creatures. And I'm flirting with Dead to Lightning Bolt. No attack. Come on, deck. Modern Age, let's go. Holding this island this long has paid off. Augur of Bolus. Let's find something good. Dispel versus Lorien Revealed. Lorien Revealed is cracked if I get another turn. Dispel helped me get another turn. Okay, I will take the Dispel, though. Man, would I love that, Lorien. Now I think I can attack once. Clockwork Percussionist. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, I don't love a Kuldotha Rebirth, but I thought they were gonna cast a second haste creature there. Right, Modern Age loots. Hydroblast is really good. I will dump this Dispel, which should be of concern to my opponent because I just took it, and now they know I have 2 cards better than Dispel in my hand. They just unlocked their 3rd mana. If everything attacks, then everything's going to block. Okay. I could also... I am not going to Hydroblast one of the creatures. I'm just going to block, block, block. Go to 3. I can counter the next 2 Lightning Bolts. And they've used a bunch already. The board will be stable completely next turn. I've worked through Kuldotha pretty fairly, and I'm about to get a 2-3. I'm at 3. Officially fought tooth and nail for my 4th mana for a long time, or for my 4th life point for a long time. Here's the Chain Lightning that came out of the Percussionist last turn. Another Chain Lightning. Have they sandbagged 3 bolts? We've been jockeying over that 4th life point for a long time. It would not surprise me if they do have another bolt. Okay, Hellbent. In trouble. Attack, attack, attack. I'm not going to play this land. But I guess they would just cast any spell they draw, so I'm not really bluffing anything. I just have to hope that they flood out a little bit here while I figure this out. 3 mana. They can sack their Lackey and get a treasure and draw a card. That's another look at Lightning Bolt and the mana to cast it. There that goes. 2 mana available. Big draws. We love a Brainstorm. Okay. I'm going to cast Brainstorm now. If they bolt in response, good job. Okay. Aquifer and Dispel go back. Or how can I sequence this better? I can go Dispel Aquifer. Okay, Dispel Aquifer, go back. Modern Age draws and discards Aquifer. Then Bolus finds the Dispel. Or maybe Hydroblast would be even better. All right, take Dispel. And now I just have to kill them before the shields come down. Everything's going in. They are at 1 on the board. If they cast an instant, Dispel presents lethal. If they cast a creature, I can block it. If they have exactly Chain Lightning, but there's 3 already in the graveyard. There's 2 Lightning Bolts and 3 Chain Lightnings already spent. Kuldotha Rebirth plus Goblin Bushwhacker gets me here. I could have left a blocker back to play around that. Uh-oh. Danger, danger, danger. Okay, it was just 3 goblins. Island, we loot that away. Modern Age so busted. Come on, give me a spell. Well, here's this. This doesn't kill me. But it does leave me dead to Voldaren Epicure. A card that I cannot currently counter. I think I have to let resolve any card that doesn't kill me. Augur Bolus. Find the goods, big homie. Hydroblast. Counterspell. Alright, Preordain. That's more digs. 2 lands to the bottom, don't want those. Can't cast this Lorien right now. Bottom. Arms of Hedar. That's almost good. Okay, flying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna leave back 5 blockers. Okay, I have them dead next turn. This is the attack that leaves them dead next turn. That also leaves back the most blockers. If they have exactly Voldaren Epicure, and I lose because I didn't dispel the Gelf Blast, they got me. If they have Lightning Bolt, and I win because I didn't dispel the Gelf Blast, I'll feel very smart. The opponent's at 4. This is going to be tight. Well, I was right. If I lose this game, I was still right. And it's just going to come down to a rip. Does the top of their deck deal 1? But I did play that correctly. Just would have lost if I countered the blast. Now I just need them to draw a basic mountain for 1 turn, and off we go. Moment of truth. Yeah, okay. I feel good about that one. Yeah, I don't think my sideboard changes on the draw, just everything's harder because they're on the play. They didn't see any sideboard cards other than Pyroblast or Hydroblast that game. They didn't see the Lifelinker or any sweepers. I like that. Okay, going back in. Yikes. This is very slow. Arms of Hadar is one that can catch up to a hand like this, but I got a mulligan this. Ugh. This, I am going to keep. The Augur's good. I have the sideboard card. I'm going to bottom one of the Brainstorms and just hope I draw an untapped land. Epicure, Aquifer, Tomb Raider, taking some beats. Come on, deck. Shit. All right, Brainstorm, please find me a land. I'm going to take my chances rather than play on 1 land. Okay, we did it. Put back, I think, Cast Down and Aquifer. I probably have to Blue Blast the Tomb Raider this turn. Just can't take 2 from that forever. Unless they cast something better. That might be better. I'm going to annul that. Might be better over time. 3 damage coming in. Now play Augur versus remove and hold up a Dispel. I'm going to put the Augur in. We know it's going to hit a spell right now. They flush out Pyroblast. It's fine. All right. They've got 2 cards left in their hand, drawn up to 3. Don't like that, but I can kill all those, but my life total's really low. Okay. I have 2 instant speed removal spells in my hand. I'm gonna go to their turn, kill all their 2 power creatures, I hope. They played a land, that's probably good. Cast down Tomb Raider. Can't counter this one. Blue Blast a Tomb Raider. Maybe I'm supposed to Blue Blast first, and then Dispel can protect from Pyroblast. Okay, so it's Bolt and Response. Bolt and Response. I'm at 1. Well, my draw better be good. If it's an untapped land, I can just shove a lifelink creature. If it's nothing, I lose. Well, I'm not dead. Not in good spot, though. The best case scenario is they jam like a haste creature pre-combat that I can counter. Just being at 2 instead of 1 here would let me set up a spell stutter. It sets up the lifelink creature line. These games are so tight. It's awesome. Okay. Well, they were correct to just go to combat first. I hope their hand is an instant. Lightning Bolt. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tight. Block. And now I untap with a counterspell, searching for stability. Bog you, I guess. That Bog casts the Ambusher next turn. I hope they have to use their blood just to find something worth casting. Oh, yikes. Well, I'm going to counter that, even though the Ambusher does stabilize against it. Okay, moment of truth. Do you draw something that deals 1 damage or not? The haste creatures aren't good enough. Epicure kills me, any bolt kills me. And they just scooped. Wow, they must have drawn a land and just can't come back from the lifelink creature. They don't think they can beat me from 4 here? Interesting. Wow. What an insane tight match. Feels good to beat 2 different flavors of mono red, though. That is going to be popular at any pauper tournament you go to.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw for round 3, handful of good cards. I'm going to keep it. We got the one of Dimir Aqueduct. I love this. Just a land that's worth 2 lands somewhere in your control deck, which is Cottage. Okay. But we are playing against a deck that's going to want to get grindy and sweaty. Lembas. Sweaty confirmed. I'm going to deploy my Augur and look for some goods. Found a Brainstorm. Jukabog, Snacker go to the bottom. I can snuff out here if I need to. So far, they're only showing me black mana, though. The Tithing Blade. My Augur is gone. Okay, this might be a mono-black control style deck. I don't know what their top end is going to look like, but this snuff out is starting to look bad. If I had led on Sneaky Snacker, I would not care about that Tithing Blade at all. I still mostly don't care about it, but it did get a card. Spellstutter Sprite. I'm playing Contaminated Aquifer this turn. I'm just deciding if I'm playing Sneaky Snacker or leaving my mana up. I think I'm going to play Snacker. It's just the least concerning thing if it dies. I'm trying to think about what 4-drops I'd care about out of mono black, but they can't just shove Thorn of the Black Rose into a flying creature. Another Lembas. It's going to take a lot of work to kill this opponent. They're already at 26. Oh, 29. The bread never ends. That's kind of the story of Lembas, isn't it? I'm not a Lord of the Rings expert, but I think that's what's going on with that stuff. Attack for 2. Second main, Brainstorm. Gonna put away this snuff out that I don't think is gonna matter, and this suffocating fumes. That is probably not gonna be good here, and I will play my Dimir Aqueduct. As good a time as ever to play this. Doesn't cost me any mana, just raw card advantage as a land. Cycling Troll of Khazad-dûm. Second color revealed. Golgari deck confirmed. And I'm going to cycle Lorien because I don't want the cards that are on top of my deck. If I have Modern Age, it's going to be great at getting rid of these extra lands. This does tap me out of Counterspell briefly, but I can't imagine what I would care about that could happen right now. Motobug. Okay, Modern Age. I'll start there. Even though I'm not sure if Snuff Out's going to have targets, I am quite sure that I don't need 3 islands in my hand. Ooh, something's happening. We're casting down my Snacker. I have drawn 2 cards this turn. I can Brainstorm anytime. Yeah, I'll wait. Like if they play Jukabog thinking they're going to get value here, I can Brainstorm over the top of it. Thorn of the Black Rose. Interesting. I think just countering this is fine. Yeah, I'm not very good at killing that card. Even though I can Brainstorm and put a flyer into play at instant speed. Yeah, look at this Jukabog. Got your ass. Brainstorm. Oh, my own Thorn of the Black Rose. I'm something of a Thorn of the Black Rose myself. I'm going to put back Aquifer. I don't want a ETB tap land at this phase of the game. Mana's good. I guess I'm going to draw all this shit off Modern Age anyway. Okay, they got 2 cards in their hand. I'm looking at roughly 1 million cards. Dump Contaminated Aquifer. I'm just going to attack and play Thorn of the Black Rose, leaving up Spellstutter Sprite that's good for 2. What are my outs to a resolved Troll of Khazad-dûm? I have Cast Downs in the deck. I could triple block it with a Death Touch creature. As long as I hold the Monarch, it's fine. Okay. Island, Thorn. There's something so satisfying in a game of Magic where your opponent tries to do something powerful and you counter it, then do the exact same thing back to them. Feels good. Defiled my Thorn. I'm going to Spellstutter that. I'm not sure how many targets for Spellstutter are going to be left in this matchup. We're at 6 mana now. Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably should have held that. Yeah, now they have a reload. I would have much rather countered a reload. I don't even care about the Thorn of the Black Rose. But it is a Death Touch creature, as I pointed out. But tapping out of this spell stutter here let them draw 2 cards, which might turn into a draw 4 or more. Pass down my Snacker. The Defile's still countered here. Okay. Alright. They've used their entire life to get here. I drew my cast down. Hardcast Deep Analysis. This gets my Snacker back. Snuff Out over the top. Sure. Okay, they are now Hellbent versus my Monarchy. I don't have a counterspell. I think I would like to flashback Deep Analysis. Okay. Hand full of gas. I am going to have to go to cleanup. I'll discard an Aquifer. I don't need more of those. Landscape might have been worse than Aquifer. It's close, actually. Now the shuffle is valuable. Aquifer was right. They can craft their Tithing Blade with a creature to go to the I lose 1 life every turn mode. That's not much, but it's literally something if they have nothing else to do. Alright, they have that out of the graveyard. At minimum, there's that thing out of the graveyard. And they've had enough. Alright, cool. I might have blown it slightly for a moment there, but they didn't convert. Okay, this is a deck that cares about the cards in its hand. It cares about its graveyard. It cares about having a large creature. Extracted Confession is good here. And it does have the Eviscerator, Insight, Deadly Dispute engine. Dispel looks good. Okay, apparently this Nile Spellbomb is just going to stay zoomed in on my screen, and there's nothing I could do about it. Come on now. All right. Okay, Suffocating Fumes, Snuff Out. These are not good cards in the matchup. Thorn seems great. Agony Warp doesn't seem very high impact. Snacker seems great. Spell Pierce will die eventually, but it might be good early. But I'm boarding in a bunch of stuff that is already good at that. But I guess I just want the most, right? Do I cut a Snacker? Is it just kind of a medium impact thing that 3's enough? Okay, I'm going in like this. Oh no, no way. All right, I guess I'm going to have to restart the program. Wow, that's bad. Okay, it went away on its own. Don't worry, don't worry. That did just convince me to disable hover zoom, though. A lot of people don't like it anyway, but I thought it was fine as a content creator. Okay. Plant token is in. Don't love using a Bojuka Bog this early, but this is what my hand offers. The 1-land double Lorien. You got to be okay with these. Drawing Island here would be insane. Dimir Aquifer. Okay, I mean, I could just play that now. And then I'll cycle for a basic island and have a bunch of mana available for turn 3. Getting Duressed. I have 2 Loriens, so I don't have to do anything in response here. It's Modern Age or Brainstorm. If they want to take one of my Loriens, they're welcome to it, but the real choices are Modern Age or Brainstorm. Modern Age is gone. That one is a flying threat. That lines up well against Thorn. You get an island, as promised. I have enough black mana. Like, there's no reason to get an Aquifer here, even if I don't end up using 3 mana. And I'm just going to pass. If I play Augur here, they can just shove Thorn of the Black Rose and know that it's safe, and they have 2 blockers and I can't take it back. If they shove Thorn now, I can Spell Stutter just as a 1/1 flying flash, take the Monarch, put 2 Augurs between their creatures and me. Our opponent also has to use a no-value Bojuka Bog just to move the game forward. Now I can do a little Brainstorm, Lorien Revealed action. Counterspell found. I'm going to put back both islands and then cycle the Lorien. And right back to where we were. That's perfect. And now I can start Auging. Cast down. Sucks to see a Thorn go to the bottom. I'll see you later. I got a few shuffles left in the deck. And step cast down. That's fine. I'm never going to fight over that. And they don't know that I have Counterspell. They saw my hand when I didn't have Counterspell. Boom. Avenging Hunter, put it directly in the graveyard. It might have actually been better for me to flash in Spell Stutter and then cast that down and take the initiative. Bummer. I might have fucked that up. Okay, Augur of Bolas. I was just so excited to counter a spell, but that was almost certainly wrong, actually. Okay, I have another counterspell in my head. I have another chance to make the same decision. Alright. Maybe play another Avenging Hunter. Give me another chance to do the correct thing. Duress, well, Spell Stutter that. This does open me up to Defile on Spell Stutter, counter Spell Stutter, but this does cost them their whole turn to flush out the counterspell. Alright, you got me. And Murmuring Mystic cast down, chilling in my grip. Tithing Blade, taking out that Augur of Bolas. Might as well. It's not getting better. The Snack Attack. I'm going to play Snack Attack first, just in case there's an Edict involved somewhere. And Murmuring Mystic. I don't think there's a 1-mana Edict in Pauper, but I'm also pretty out of touch. 2 cards in your hand. How good are they? I don't care about Troll of Khazad-dûm. I actually welcome Avenging Hunter. Defile is not even close to killing Murmuring Mystic. And they use a cast down on an Augur of Bolas earlier this game. Okay, Snuff Out's good enough. And they snuffed out for the life, even though they have the mana, which makes me think they're going to spend their mana some other way here. Oh yeah, they're just crafting the Tithing Blade. The race is on. Yeah, that drains me every turn. So currently, we're both taking 1 damage a turn. Yeah, I'm really upset with myself for blowing it on that sequence with the Avenging Hunter. I would be like 3 rooms into the dungeon already. All right, draw 2 cards, make a map. What if I don't want you to do that? That might have been aggressive, but I am leaning into the idea of stopping my opponent from drawing extra cards rather than fighting over their payoffs. Extract a Confession versus Cast Down. Cast Down is just better. Stay snacking. Witch's Cottage with no targets because they consumed their crafted with their only creature in the graveyard. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying it's funny. I'm going to discard Dispel and grab another Modern Age. I'm going to attack first because I've drawn 2 cards already. If they do kill my Snacker with the 1 card in their hand, I get insane value here by waiting. Okay. Modern Age number 2. The engines are online. Spellstutter Sprite versus Cast Down. In Troll of Khazad-dûm is really good, but Spellstutter is better against every other card they play, I think. All right. I'm going to give up the Cast Down here and hope for the best. Like if they Eviscerator's Insight, sacking their literally anything. The Spellstutter is a banger. This doesn't get to rest. Oh god, here we go. All right, well, they have introduced the initiative. They've got 1 card in hand, and it is allowed to be up to a 2-drop. But I have a flyer. Oh yeah, spend 2 mana on something. Let's go. We did it. I mean, we did it might be aggressive, but we're in a race now that I'm no longer sure if we can win. Right, draw and discard a card. Discard this swamp. Exile the Saga. Attack. Get the initiative. Take an island. And I'll pass. The Avenging Hunter does have trample. Okay, I'm not going to block. I'm committed to racing here. Yeah, discarding that cast down certainly affects the outcome of this game. Oh, they went into the Lost Well. Scryed top. Might as well annul. I don't want you cantripping, and I might want access to my graveyard. May not ever find another target for that. Brainstorm's a good one. I'm just going to brainstorm now and see what my options are. They don't have any cards in their hand. Oh, those are good options. Put back Island and Spellstutter. Yeah, I want the Snacker to apply extra pressure, because we're just racing here. And the Snacker's bigger. I'm going to take the initiative. I'm going to Forge. Put 2+1 counters on Spellstutter, I guess. That's the smallest one otherwise. Make them spread out their removal onto my worst creatures. And now I believe I've won this game. They need some sort of uncounterable Wrath of God or Lava Axe. Just counter that. Okay, so I definitely messed up this game. Definitely once on the first Avenging Hunter, and maybe with the discarding cast down, but managed to get through it because the Modern Age is a sicko. We remain undefeated. Let's go. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set,
and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables. I'm on the play in round 4 for the first time in my life. I'm going to keep. I don't have a swamp for this Modern Age, or for this Snuff Out. The Dimir Aqueduct, I was singing its praises earlier, but now it's awkward. That's why you only play one. I would prefer Contaminated Aquifer in this position, but I still have 2 lands to get my Modern Age rolling. Island Go. One of my favorite opens in Magic. Okay, this shit again. That's fine. I'm ready. We do know this deck has Bajuka Bog in it. I'm still going to play Modern Age, get my snacker value, and we'll see what happens from there. Okay. Ichor Wellspring. Oh, this is actually a moment. This is really important. When I was watching Barff and trying to pick up legacy play patterns, there was a game where, against a matchup like this, he specifically had exactly the option I had of play Modern Age or counter Ichor Wellspring. And he countered Ichor Wellspring instead, just left up the mana on turn 2. And I may have missed the bus already because there's one in play, but I am going to try to adopt something like that. A Modern Age flips. Seething Landscape is great here because it gives me double Spell Stutter, or I can just get my Swamp and play Snuff Out. Vault of Whispers. Now, this could be Broodskale combo, or it could be just another value deck, but the Vault of Whispers was not in my previous opponent's deck. I am going to tutor a Swamp here, even though that does tap me out of double Spell Stutter. Another Island. I am attacking. I remain committed and interested in double Spell Stutter, which if I play Dimir Aqueduct doesn't work. Next turn, I could probably get my Aqueduct. A Deadly Dispute. I will make my stand here. Get blown out by a removal spell, but what removal spell can they cast for green mana? All right, I've just doubled my clock and cut their draw engine. Kind of. We'll see if this works out. Shambling Ghast. If that dies, my Spell Stutter dies. Now I'm pretty sure this is Broodskale. I've seen enough to convince me this is not some Golgari value deck. This is a combo deck. Snuff Out's really good against that deck, though. It's not a checkmate because they can duress you. They can have Tameo Safekeeping to protect their combo. But the card's really good. Yikes. It beats. I'm applying real pressure here. I'll at least take that to the bank. Float a blue, play Aqueduct, pick up the island. A spot like this one is exciting because the Aqueduct picking up a land makes Brainstorm and Modern Age better. It's kind of card advantage. All right, well, I can't fight this dispute. I have no dispute. Nothing to dispute here. I'm just going to have to try to snuff out the Broodskale when it comes in. Rumble. Well, there is Broodskale if they need it, or Shambling Ghast if they're trying to value. Okay, they took the Ghast. That's scary. That means they already have a Broodskale, or that's not what they're trying to do. Eviscerator's Insight. Yep, just going off, killing my squad. I really need a good card here. A Lorien Revealed, just something to get things moving. Not that shit. The opponent's engine is online and mine is not. I am pushing damage though, and they're not, but they're a combo deck. And I have reason to believe that they already have a Broodskale in their hand based on that they milled one over and weren't worried about it. Oh my god. Okay. Attack for 2. Play another Aquifer. They know one of the cards in my hand is Island. They probably have their combo lined up and they're just waiting to draw a Duress and then not have to worry about anything. They're going to Insight out of the graveyard. They have 8 cards in their hand now, or 7. Now 8. They're going to draw for turn. It'll be 9. They've drawn almost half their deck at this point. Okay, the Nightshade, Nightblade. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. That is some passive drain. That actually changes the clock by an entire turn just by having a spawn in play. Deck, come on. Just checking, yes, there are 18 lands in this deck. That's less than Legacy Delver plays. The good news is there's only 8 left out of my 42 cards. Oh, the Treasure is also a token. Got it. So, yeah, they can actually gain multiple life here. They sacked the Treasure to cast Eviscerator's Insight, and they sacked the Colony Plant to the effect, which basically washed that entire turn out. Oh god, they play more than one of these? Yikes. I've only ever seen one play at a time because one is usually lethal. They're starting to turn it around. The Sneaky Snacker was discarded on turn 2, and I have not drawn 3 cards yet in my draw 3 cards theme deck. Come on now, Lorien Revealed. God damn it. All right. Well, here we go. I draw a Dispel after they're done eviscerating all their insight. Great. Well, now I lose. They found Duress. I mean, this game has been a crap show from basically somewhere around turn 4, but the flood out here is just abysmal. They took Dispel rather than Snuff Out. That's weird. Does that mean they're in control mode, or what's going on here? I thought for sure they would just take Snuff Out and then combo me out. Okay. Oh, so they must have Tamiyo safekeeping also. All right. Or they can just combo twice. I don't know. There's a million ways that this can go poorly for me. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, annul, Dispel, Steel Sabotage. I like all these cards. Fumes doesn't matter. We can back off of a Snacker, Mystic, and Modern Age. So some of the slower, grindier stuff is out. The Sweeper that doesn't... I mean, they do have a bunch of X1 tokens in their deck, but the Sweeper being out is... it doesn't get the important things when it's important. I wonder if I want Okiba Gang. I'm always looking for a reason to put Okiba Gang Shinobi in my deck. Yeah, it would probably be a Snacker if I want Shinobi. Shinobi doesn't get through the token wall, though. The flyers are really important. And I don't think just a random 4-mana Mind Rot is going to swing the game for me. All right, this one's a little chunky. But you know me. I love a Preordain. I love keeping a hand completely based on hoping my cantrip works. I'm going to play Seething Landscape, which unfortunately has to get Island because that's what we're working with here, which means Snuff Out's not going to be on for a while. Seething Landscape, pass. Colony Garden, I'll fetch in response for F6 value. Spellstutter Sprite, Preordain, Annul, and Modern Age. I do like both those cards. I'm going to go top, and then Bog my opponent. Gotcha. Duress. This probably takes Modern Age. Okay, took Snuff Out. And Scattershot Archer. Yeah, love this. This is old Pauper technology. Big fan of it. I'm going to go for Modern Age here. Now that my spell stutters don't work, I'd like to hit my lands. I'll dump a spell stutter and missed a land. Yeah, Scattershot Archer, for those who don't know. Tap, deal 1 damage each creature with flying. This means kill spell stutter forever on arrival, never counter anything. Sneaky Snacker dies as well. Looking for lands. Augur of Bolus. Okay, found a swamp. That's actually pretty good. Dispel is important. Agony Warp is removal. Yeah, I think it's just spell stutter has to go. That card is just not useful until multiple other problems are solved. Okay, I'm going to pass. I think I'll cast down the Scattershot Archer in their next end step with the Dispel available. Because they have multiple ways to either Tamiyo Safekeeping or Deadly Dispute, sack this for value, protect it somehow. They are Deadly Disputing. I will Dispel your Dispute. Dis-theme deck. They sacked the plant to the first one. Alright, their creatures are still gone, and I countered what I could counter. I'll take that for whatever it's worth. Lorien Revealed. Get an island. Island. Play Augur. I'm holding up a Null that they have not looked at. Counterspell in my hand. Thorn to the bottom. Sorry, Thorn. I'll miss you. If they just go for their combo here, I can counter the Sadistically and then untap and kill the homie. If they have Duress as well, then, you know, I tried. They're fetching first before they do anything else. All right, they're eviscerating their treasure. Digging for the goods. Okay, now I'm pushing damage and have 1 counterspell available. Because I have 2 mono black sources in play. I can't even counterspell plus Annul. I can't even counterspell plus Agony Warp. I have 1 piece of interaction up this turn, but I'm not dead to Duress. I've turned Hover Zoom back on, even though we had that moment with the Nile Spellbomb. I've gotten used to that, and it's weird to have to actually click a card, I think, for content creation purposes. We have to deal with some weird hangers sometimes. They tap 3 mana, then change their mind. Plant token resolves. Can't stop that. Island. Modern Age. All right, well. Attack. They're going to block. Are they going to eviscerate it? They are. I just can't afford to fight over that. I can't afford to Modern Age either. Because if I moderate Modern Age, I could lose to Duress plus Tamiyo Safekeeping. Okay, have a look. This is what I've got. A super awkward Hand of Clunkers that all line up against your deck, but I can only cast one of them at a time. All right, just getting to work on the counterspells. I respect it. Shambling Ghast. And another Colony Plant. Cast down. That's more interaction. I think I want to force the issue on their plants and random shitters. Like the block sack play pattern, they could just sack. They don't even need to block. And if I don't pressure, then they might not even have to do the little bit that they do kind of have to do right now. Okay, now for the first time, I am passing, holding up 2 pieces of interaction. I can Agony Warp and Cast Down, or Annul and Cast Down. I cannot afford to fight over the draw engine. Their life total is diminishing. Another Duress. Come get it. You know what's going on. Now taking Cast Down or Annul actually does affect me. Going for Counterspell, though. All right. Another Shambler. Spellstutter Sprite. That counters sadistically. Once again, 2 pieces of interaction. It's possible to do 2 things. It also counters Duress. I like that a lot. There's an Eviscerate from the graveyard. Opponents outdrawn me this game by 8 cards so far. Cycling Twisted Landscape. Okay. They are in just need something to do mode. Okay, this Night Dummy is in. I can Agony Warp that in the end step. And then I could Spellstutter a Tamiyo Safekeeping. Or this could all just be bait and they're just trying to flush out my interaction. But I'm trying to flush their interaction out too. So this will eat either a removal spell or get another protection spell out of the hand. Okay. They gain 2 life here, and that doesn't die. Counterspell. Okay, we've been sitting on those for a while. They duress 2 of them, and now I'm back to having 1. The Flyers are going to attack. Opponent is down to 10. Got 5 cards in hand. Another Insight. I can't afford to fight them. That hasn't changed. After drawing 11 of my 18 lands in game 1, I've been sitting on 2 of my 3. I think this genie's out of the bottle. They can have Ichor Wellspring. I'm saving an all for sadistically. Malevolent Rumble. Maybe I can deck them. Ooh, Drown in Sorrow. They took a Shambling Ghast. Another Scattershot Archer. I hate that guy. Well, it resolves. I don't like having to flush out a Cast Down on Scattershot Archer. Do I care? There's no Snackers. Spellstutter is just 1 damage. It doesn't kill Vector Glider. Yeah, I think I'm going to continue to respect. Oh my god. Speaking of continue to respect, how about we respect this land drop? And attack for 3 one last time. There'll be attacks for 2s moving forward. A massive Eviscerator's Insight from the graveyard for the full 3 cards. Another Wellspring. 17 cards left in their deck. They've cast 3 Duresses and 2 Tamiyo Safekeepings already. There's the Ghast we knew about. If they kill this Vector Glider, I'm suddenly in a lot of trouble, even if they never combo. But so far, the Modern Age has proven to be a good one. Another Counterspell. They'll tap the Scattershot here. It'll save them a damage. And they can change the clock by sacking this token whenever they want. And now, I think it is finally time to Modern Age. I can Cast Down and Annul, even if I miss a land drop. I actually think Brainstorm is the worst card in this hand, as crazy as that is. Here we go. Another Deadly Dispute. 14 cards remain in their deck. And red in the pool. This probably means they're cycling a Twisted Landscape. Indeed it is. They go to 7, which buys them a turn. They could also just present their combo multiple times in a turn now. There are 0 Glees or Brood Scales in the graveyard. All right, well, here we go. I have to fight this on the floor. Gonna Annul sadistically, or I think I should Cast Down first, because this can be a 2-for-1. If they Tamiyo to safekeep this, then Tamiyo Safekeeping's out, and then I can counter the Glee afterwards. There's safekeeping. Here's a null. Now just having a second Glee in hand gets the combo rolling. If I didn't cast Modern Age, I could have had Counterspell, Cast Down, and a null. All right, yeah, I blew it at the end. Got a little too big for my britches. Okay, GG's. Some weird mana stuff happening this match, which, you know, drawing 11 of my 18 lands game 1 and then being stuck on 2 of my 3 black sources, making it unable to double spell ever or even cast spells at all. My opponent's engine fully online, and it still may have come down to getting greedy on this Modern Age at the end of all that. I don't feel bad about the matchup, but I did learn a lot about the play pattern. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in the final round. I will keep this hand a little slow and steady, but I'm in. My default plan is to get a Contaminated Aquifer with this Lorien Revealed, but if my opponent does something that changes my information, I will do something different. Opponent went to 6, and let's see what they're up to. Their username is Hell Monkey, and their avatar is Ragavan. We'll see if they live up to their Hell Monkey name. Basic Mountain. Yep, that's Hell Monkey behavior. I think I have to get the Aquifer, even though I would love to hold up Counterspell, because removal is going to matter at some point here. Blocker and removal are both black cards in my hand. They didn't come out blazing, though. Oh no, what's going on over there? Okay, there is a second land. People make me nervous when they go to their second main phase without making a land drop. I'm like, what are you doing over there? What hand did you keep? Chill out. I'm just going to play Basic Island and pass. I'm trying to restrain myself here from dying suddenly to some shit. Jund, the perfect mana base. No fetching, no card selection, just this land, then this land. It's beautiful. I think I want to Brainstorm in the end step because an untapped land just lets me jam Thorn. Okay. If this is the Jund ramp deck, their haste creatures don't kick in until turn 6. If this is a Writhing Chrysalis deck, I can cast that down and move on with the Monarch. Or I could just have a Death Touch creature between me and it. If this is Broodscale combo that takes more mana than they have right now to execute, you need 2 for the Broodscale, 2 to evolve it, 1 for the Sadistic Glee. That's 5, and they only have 3. They're representing untapping into 4. Yeah, I'm just going to shove the Thorn, become the Monarch, early and often. Top card of my deck is a land. It's the Bojuka Bog. And then we will be drawing Wild starting next turn. Opponent's got 4, Writhing Chrysalis. Called that out. It's covered. I have a Death Toucher. Contaminated Aquifer, and I'm actually going to play Snacker now. That ratchets up Spell Stutter without really tapping me out of anything important. Augur now available. The Re-Chrysalis. Okay. Once again, I have a Death Touch creature and a hard removal spell. I don't need to tangle with this thing. Again, another play pattern that I picked up from watching Barff's video. I was being really scared of this card because it is an enormous reach creature. But if you are in the mindset of patience, which a lot of the Terror decks and definitely the Blue Fairies deck don't allow for, then you're allowed to chill a little bit. See what happens. Rather than just panic react to something that's kind of good. Preordain. Okay. Snuff Out Counterspell. This is 2 more answers to stuff. Top. I'll play Bojuka Bog. Just need a land drop here. And I will pass the turn. And I draw the Snuff Out. So this could be a ramp deck that just has a fair draw, or it could be Broodscale in the Jund shell. Those are both things that exist. Wow, they're wildfiring one of my lands. Okay. Guess you might as well smoke them if you got them, right? That just moves one of my cards from here to there. Oh, they even had... Oh, no, they might have just drawn the Slagwood Bridge. I don't think they ever target my land if they can target their own. Eviscerator's Insight. Okay. I have learned that these are important. I'm going to counter this. And they have 2 Big O's if they want to get rowdy with their big O's here, they will lose them both. All right, end of turn. Because I have the mana available now, I'm going to start clearing these out. I do have to attack them for 20 eventually, but I can do it patiently. Augur, Lorien Revealed. I've got plenty of land, so I'll take the Brainstorm. Play Brainstorm and pass the turn. I'm not quite ready to go super shields down versus Brood Scale. I mean, my shields aren't even down. Like, this is the scale of interaction we're talking about in this deck, where I'm like, ooh, is Counterspell, Agony Warp, Spellstutter enough to keep Brood Scale off my back? Okay, another one of these. I will continue the patience mantra and grind through these fair and square. Make sure I don't die to some other shit. And if they are the ramp deck, they'll have the initiative in it, which is another thing that I would like to avoid if I can. Are they ready to trade a Chrysalis for my Death Touch blocker? They do understand that they're bleeding out to the Monarch. They do understand that they have to attack me at some point. We'll see when and how they value these decisions. Did I counterspell an Eviscerator's Insight last turn when I had Spellstutter available? Or has that developed since then? I actually don't remember. Whoops, if true. And I can counter. I can Spellstutter an Eviscerator's Insight now, if untrue. And I think I will now hardcast Snuff Out, and they have roughly infinite spawn tokens. I could flush some number of them out with Agony Warp right now. Like, if I attack with Snacker, cast Brainstorm, Snacker just comes back. But that, I don't like that. Okay. I'm just going to play Contaminated Aquifer and pass the turn. That's the kind of thing that I think is messy and bad and leads to game losses against decks like this. If I were to attack with Snacker, flush out my Agony Warp to kill 3 or 4 Eldrazi spawns, that still leaves a giant creature in play, and now I'm down my removal spell that could kill Broodscale. A Deadly Dispute, Spellstutter that. A removal spell plays here, because I have exactly 2 fairies. Snuff Out, annoying. Right, I mean, if this is the fight we're fighting, I will fight it. Maybe it's better to counterspell the Deadly Dispute here, because now a second removal spell, we're in the same spot. Yeah, I fucked that up. Okay. Yeah, if I had just counterspelled the Deadly Dispute, that would not be an issue. Whoops. Complicated stacks. This is what I've always liked about Pauper. It's like a budget format. It's accessible to most people, and the depth of decision making is incredible. The stack interactions you get are really exciting. Augur. Augur's in. Got a Brainstorm. I think I would have preferred that Modern Age, but you don't get to make every decision for yourself. Brainstorm. I have enough mana to cast all the interaction in my hand, so Brainstorm here, trying to move the game forward. If I can clear this Chrysalis and start attacking, it probably behooves me to do that. They're down to 3 cards in hand versus 2 interactive spells. I like my chances there, if I could start pushing damage. There are 4 cards left in my deck that can kill this Chrysalis. Okay, we made good with the removal spell. Snacker Lorien. I'm pretty close to being able to discard a Snacker to hand size. I think I'm going to put back... I'm going to draw one of these for the Monarch at end of turn. I could hit my land drop now. I'm going to put back Snacker and Lorien. Hit my land drop. I'm going to snuff this Chrysalis and start pushing damage. Right now, they just have all the time in the world to figure their life out. I guess this Augur could have attacked pretty safely. But I'm holding 2 answers versus a 3-card hand. It'll be 4 cards. They can also sack a bunch of spawns to Eviscerator's Insight in the end step. And it's also important to remember that Broodscale, just getting Sadistic Glee on it doesn't win the game. That makes an infinitely large creature and generates infinite colorless mana. But if they're hellbent when that happens, it doesn't matter. I can just chump for, or I could just put Thorn of the Black Rose in front of it until they find some outlet. And if this is the ramp deck and not actually Broodscale combo, then I'm wasting all sorts of precious time, giving them a bunch of time in the world if I don't start dealing damage. They took their 2. I'm drawing Lorien Revealed. Something's happening in the end step. I think I have fought No, okay. No, I am going to counter this. I was about to say I think I fought this fight as far as it's reasonable to go, but I still have Agony Warp in my hand. I could still Miracle Brainstorm for a Snuff Out if they're even the combo deck. Karat Clan Shaman. Okay. There is a combo with this. There's an instant from Murders at Karlov Manor that gives a creature Death Touch and Lifelink, where then this can be a Wrath of God for non-flying creatures. But I can Agony Warp if they try that. Okay, they just scoped. Had enough. That was game one, wasn't it? I mean, lag is kind of bad right now. You'll notice they have 12 minutes on their clock, and I am at under 18. And yeah, I can understand not wanting to play this game anymore, but okay. A 4-1 result where in the loss, there were some mana problems, and also I made a decision on the final turn that might have mattered. This definitely felt like the best version of what I want to be doing out of all of this exploration of the terror decks and the tempo fairy decks. And turns out the truth is I just didn't want to play a tempo deck, and even the control decks are kind of tempo decks right now because they're trying to cast Tolarian Terror. And if I can actually just turtle back and gain incremental value while trying not to lose the game, oh baby, that's how I want to play Magic. I am almost certainly locking this for the Pauper Cup at MagicCon Chicago. Very excited to play a deck like this one. I get my beloved Spellstutter Sprite alongside what I believe to be some of the most powerful cards in Pauper, like Snuff Out, Counterspell, Brainstorm, Lorien Revealed, just the full boat of that. Love it. This was sweet. I'm glad I stumbled upon it. Shout out to Fire Shoes on social media, who just retweets everything Magic related. If you're not following Fire Shoes on Blue Sky, you probably should. Or I think he's also on Threads. He's on Twitter, just everywhere. His whole thing is just retweeting random 5-0s and challenge top 8s. And that's why I found this. You never know when inspiration will strike. This was a delight. Barff, thank you for putting it out there in the world. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this run of Pauper decks. It's probably going to be a little while before I play Pauper again, but you got 5 weeks of it. We all got 5 weeks of it, really. I had fun doing it. I'll see you next time.